Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Good afternoon, good morning, and good day everywhere you are. Before the pandemic, I was talking about tithe and offering. 2 years before the pandemic, I was talking about tithe and offering. That was from Malachi 3:8. But if you read the whole chapter of Malachi, not only the 8, read the whole chapter and you will see. Even Jesus was after the order of Melchizedek. Tithe is for the church you regularly attend, not only every Sunday alone, but all the time you go to church, and that church needs to be looked after, and that's why you need tithes. And the pastors needs to be paid, or pastor in charge needs to be paid. All the workers need to be paid. That's what you need tithe for. Offering is voluntary. Offering is voluntary from your heart, and it's any amount you want to pay, because it's not by force. Offering is something you offer to do or to give, and if you don't have, you don't give. That's just offering. All other doctrinal services or doctrinal payment is just from the church you are attending, or the denomination you are attending. So that is for them, may not be from God. And it doesn't necessarily mean if you don't pay it, you will die. That is not in the Bible, that you will die, and you shouldn't be cursed. It shouldn't be cursed because of you don't pay your tithe and offering by your ministers of God. They should pray that God should bless every one of you, so that you can pay your tithe and offering. So we are still on the topic of tithe and offering, part 2. There is what we call building fund. You see, the building funds and ministers of God funds, they are different from tithe and offering. You may be asked to pay them if you are a permanent churchgoers. And in some churches, they have transportation funds, which you can use to buy your transported, from bicycle to motorcycle to cars and jets and anything you want to buy, or buses to transport all the members of the church who cannot afford to pay their own transport fare. So, and nobody is helping them. So those are the people that we use the church buses for. And you use funding, transportation funding, to fund such projects. After tithe and offering, every other payment or every other funds are for projects. So they will form a project in that mission, and they will now ask people to fund it. If you can afford it, yes, do so. If you can, you may not do so. This is Pastor S.B.Bakare from CAC Church of England. It's not a church actually, but it's a new project coming up in 2022. You will start hearing me in the ear all the time, or many of the time. Funding is very, very important in any successful ministry and mission, or government, or association, or organization. We have millions of denominations across the world that are funding themselves, and they are prosper. So, but people that are against the fund should not start fighting, because they don't know what the fund is for. That kind of projects the funding for. So if you want to source a fund, or they are sourcing a fund in your denomination, you are free to ask why are they doing it. And if they don't answer you, that is when you start thinking of otherwise. And you don't need to fight in the church. If you don't want it anymore, just stay away from them. There are loads of other denominations that can accept your idea. There are so many politicians and wealthy people going around, like all the kings and queens across the world. They go around these days looking for new people to welcome them into their midst, looking for new politician, youth politician, new wealthy people to welcome